Okay, let's break this down, yeah? So, Canada's immigration backlog has been a big deal for a while now, right? People all over the world have been waiting, sometimes for what feels like forever, to get their applications processed. Whether it's for permanent residence, temporary visas, work permits, or family reunification, the delays have been, frustrating, to say the least. But here's the good news. According to the latest update from IRCC, that's Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, the backlog is finally starting to shrink. Yeah, this is definitely a step forward for everyone involved. So, okay, let's talk about why this backlog became such a massive problem in the first place. As you probably remember, the COVID-19 pandemic turned everything upside down. Offices were closed, processing slowed to a crawl, and yeah, applications just kept piling up. I see, it wasn't just about the pandemic, though. Canada's immigration system was already under pressure because, right, let's be honest, Canada is a top destination for people looking for new opportunities. Whether it's for work, school, or a better life, everyone wants in. So when you mix high demand with pandemic disruptions, you end up with a pretty serious backlog. Makes sense, right? Okay, so what's IRCC doing to fix this? Yeah, this is the part everyone's been waiting for. The Canadian government has been working on a bunch of strategies to get things moving again. First off, they've been hiring more staff to process applications faster. I mean, yeah, more people working on this means things can get done quicker. Then there's technology. They're using things like artificial intelligence and automation to help sort and prioritize applications. Right? This makes it easier to identify which cases need urgent attention, like family reunifications or applications from essential workers. So, yeah, it's about working smarter, not just harder. Now, let's get into some numbers because, they tell the real story. The backlog includes everything from permanent residence applications to temporary visas and study or work permits. At its peak, the backlog was massive, like millions of cases. But according to the latest update, the IRCC has made significant progress. Yeah, they've cleared a huge number of pending cases, and many applications are now being processed within expected timeframes. I see. This is great news, especially for people who've been waiting for years. But, it's not all perfect. There are still thousands of cases left to handle, so, the work isn't done yet. Right? Let's talk about what this means for people currently in the system. For starters, yeah, if you've already submitted your application, you can probably expect faster processing times compared to the last couple of years. That's a relief, huh? But, okay, it's also important to understand that not all applications are treated equally. Cases like essential workers or family reunifications are being prioritized, while others might still face delays. Yeah, it's not ideal, but at least there's some movement now. Another thing worth mentioning is transparency. The IRCC has been stepping up its game in this area. Yeah, they're now providing more frequent updates about processing times and what they're doing to reduce the backlog. I see. This is super helpful because it gives people a clearer picture of what's happening with their applications. Right? It also helps set expectations so you're not left in the dark wondering what's going on. Okay, now let's zoom out a bit and look at the bigger picture. Immigration is critical for Canada's economy and society. Yeah, the country relies heavily on immigrants to fill gaps in the workforce, especially in industries like healthcare, construction, and tech. Without a steady flow of new immigrants, Canada's economic growth would slow down. I see. That's why the government is so focused on fixing these delays. But, right, it's not just about clearing the backlog. They also need to make sure new immigrants have access to resources like housing, healthcare, and education once they arrive. Yeah, it's a balancing act for sure. Okay, so what does the future look like? Based on what we're seeing, the IRCC seems committed to continuing these improvements. Yeah, they're not just focused on catching up. They're also working to make the system more resilient for the future. Things like better technology, streamlined processes, and increased staffing should help prevent backlogs from building up again. Right, that's the goal, anyway. But, it's still a work in progress, and there's always room for improvement. So, yeah, if you're thinking about immigrating to Canada or you're already in the process, this update is a positive sign. It doesn't mean everything's perfect, but it does mean things are moving in the right direction. I see. That's something to feel hopeful about, especially if you've been waiting a long time. Okay, just make sure to stay informed, and, yeah, keep checking for updates from IRCC. And if you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed, don't hesitate to get professional advice. Right? It's better to be prepared than to face unnecessary delays. To sum it all up, yeah, Canada's immigration backlog has been a huge challenge, but progress is finally happening. The IRCC is making changes to improve processing times and clear out the backlog, and while there's still work to do, right, it's definitely a step forward. Yeah, this is good news for anyone dreaming of starting a new chapter in Canada. So, stay patient and optimistic because, okay, the system is getting better. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below.
Thanks for watching our video. Please hit the button and subscribe the channel.